up? We got our second edition here of the Buck Your Feelings podcast after a nice cool 27-2 victory over those Fudge Packers. Those shareholders can, suck it. So, super glad to have positive vibes back in Denver. Home opener, I guess, technically. Bo's first homecoming. It was all positive. At least it was for the starters. There's some mixed feelings to the game. I feel like in any score that's 27-2, there can't be that much negative. But either way, we got feelings on both sides of the fence, and we're gonna buck them tonight, folks. So without further ado, welcome to the Buck Your Feelings podcast. Let's go. Broncos Country. Oh yeah, positive vibes on what is it? A Sunday night? Yeah, it's a Sunday night.
Late Sunday night.
Oh my gosh, good stuff here. 27-2. Only gave up that, really nasty safety, but other than that, a goose egg on that side of the ball. It was a wonderful night, and I'm belated. I'm just so happy to have you all here. I am Jay Weaver, your host, your driver on this escapade for all you.
The Denver Dream.
Yeah, the Denver Dream Weaver. Yep, here I am. You got my tag, right there, whatever it may be. But with me, as always, you got the big guy over here, the Mile High Viking, Johnny Baki, my cousin. So give it up for him. Everybody, you got this. And then it goes without saying, the largest person by far in our group, in our crew here. But you know what? One guy that I really appreciate you, Don. Adon Diaz, the 6'10" Mexican right below me here. So, boys, how are you feeling after this dub?
Oh, buddy. Oh, buddy. Oh, buddy. Oh.
It's a lot of O's. It's a lot of buddies.
Oh. No, listen, dude. Man, Broncos got a fucking quarterback.
Yes, we do.
I mean, we got a quarterback.
Yes, we do.
Okay. We didn't see him as long as I wanted to. I said it on multiple shows this week. I said it in the pregame earlier tonight. I said I wanted to see the starters on the field the entire first half. That's what I wanted, because I wanted them to use this as the dress rehearsal. The first half is the dress rehearsal for the regular season. But you know what? Didn't need to. He got out there. He did his thing. He did make a rookie mistake, and it's one that we've seen veterans make, throwing beyond the line of scrimmage. It should have been a touchdown. His vision of the field and what was going on and what was developing downfield when he was on the run to make that pass, regardless of the fact that his foot was across that line, should have been a touchdown. It's the preseason, whatever. He'll work on it, but it's what we want to see. That's what you want to see. That's what you want your franchise quarterback to look like. And we saw it, and it's him. It's he is them, they, the guy. All the pronouns, man. All the pronouns.
Yes, sir.
Don, how you feeling, bud?
I feel great, man. Listen, it felt like one quarter wasn't enough. Like we wanted to see more. And the only reason I say that is because we're definitely unfortunately going to be starved of Bo Nix next week. And then as we talked about in the pregame show, nothing is going to happen preseason week 4. So it's like that really awkward time in football. It's not the off season. So, but in a way, it's going to have a lot of people craving. And to me, there is no way that Sean Payton picks either Jarrett Stidham or Zach Wilson, which we're going to talk about their performance in just a little bit, as the starter. There is no flipping way.
Isaiah, who, listen, I want to give a huge shout out to all the guys on the Orange and Blue Network.
Yes, sir.
And all the guys on the MHRT network, our brethren,
Yes,
our fellow co-hosts. But I'd also love to, I just want to mock them for a moment for doing the responsible thing and being responsible adults and all going to bed for work tomorrow. Because I got to get up at 5 a.m. too, guys, okay? But
Me
the point
too.
is, but here's where we're at. I said this to Isaiah at halftime when we were talking about it, was that if Sean Payton names anybody but Bo Nix, the starter for week 1, one of two things is going to happen. Either Broncos Country crucifies Sean Payton on the front of Empower Field at Mile High. I mean, full on Roman style crucifixion right there on the front steps. Or an investigation is launched into what photographs Jarrett Stidham or Zach Wilson have on Sean Payton to blackmail him with. That's the only two outcomes if that happens.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
We expected the headline out of this game to be Bo Nix related, and I feel like it didn't disappoint. We had primetime lights, primetime stage, and Bo Nix stepped it up. And I just want to throw out some commenters here. We got Ty in the house. A part of the crew here. We got an all-timer D-Rock. Really hoping for a 40-burger on those Packers, but our defense looked super good. And yeah, I recorded 3 different drives with 4th down stops. That's impressive.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I don't care if it's preseason or not.
Yeah, there was some frustration in Jordan Love's face because it's like,
oh, for sure.
There and in the coaching staff in Green Bay, like I'm pretty sure it's going to be the talk of the week. This incoming week is that, like, yeah, okay. As we talked about again in the pregame show, if you guys missed it, it's preseason is a double-edged sword. Like, yes, your starters get rest and whatnot, but when you see that performance that they put out there, that's going to be a pretty awkward plane ride back to Green Bay for them because it was the starters the backups couldn't beat the backups and so forth, and all they were able to muster was 2 points.
I mean, okay, and here's the thing, and we talked about this on Nothing Rhymes earlier this week, Jay. We went up against a team tonight, whether we were going up against the 2s or 3s or not, that is slated to be a contender for the NFC title for this season, and we mopped the floor with them. So, and the thing was, like, after the joint practice Friday, a lot of people were saying, yeah, but maybe the Packers weren't taking this practice as seriously, blah, 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 because the Broncos mopped the floor with them during practice too. But we see them come into a game situation and the same thing happens. So now I'm starting to think to myself, it's obvious that the Broncos are going to be better than the national media and everybody else in the NFL is giving them credit for.
Mm-hmm.
That's huge, you guys.
For sure. And, I said early on, and I think it's very realistic, and this is how it always is every year when you have joint practice, that scrimmage on the last day of joint practice is always more important than even the preseason game versus that same team.
Yeah.
The Packers didn't play any of their starters. That is the crux of all of this hype coming for Bo Nix. All the retractions or redactors out on Twitter or X that are talking about, whoa, pump your brakes. And that includes Benjamin Albright. I will shout that out because I'm a little disappointed in him tonight, raining on our parade. He was very negative and just saying, like, whoa, like, he has not done anything versus starters. So let's just calm down. And that may be true
not,
in a game sense, but
the point is, we're seeing a guy that can do it, regardless of whether the fact that he has or hasn't. We're seeing a guy who can and will do it.
And Zano, our boy Zano, also in the crew coming in, Big Nick's energy. Like, people are feeling it, man. Our guy Shy in here as well. I love Bo Nix. He's so calm and collected. And this is one thing that I want to make a point of, because just in the confidence level of a quarterback at the line of scrimmage, I haven't felt this confident about our offense since Manning. And you have that sense of like, all right, man, he's going to check into the right play. He's going to make the right cerebral play on every single snap. I finally have that back. And that's something I've missed for a long time. So it's a big deal.
Absolutely. Real quick, I want to give I would like to get a little bit of, if we can, the housekeeping out of the way, Jay.
For sure.
Roll through without any other interruption. Guys, thank you for joining us on the Buck Your Feelings postgame show. We are coming to you live on the Orange and Blue Network, and for the first time ever on the MHRT Network, which Adon, me, and Jay all are former members of, and we are back, baby. So, if you would please give us the like, subscribe, share, and comment over on Orange and Blue Network on YouTube, X, Facebook. You can find all of our audio podcasts everywhere. Yes, I know it's over our faces because usually there's only two. You can find all of our audio podcasts wherever you listen to audio podcasts. But then, do the flip side. Jump on over to MHRT Network. Give them the like, subscribe, and share on their YouTube, X, Facebook, and Twitch, because, hey, we're MHRT Network now, too. We are a partnership. Orange and Blue Network and MHRT Network are a partnership now. So please, give us those likes, those subscribes, those shares. We'd greatly appreciate it. Absolutely. Yeah, only way we can go is up, buddy. All right, now, last but not least, we do have to give a shout-out to the sponsor of tonight's show, and that is Dubby Jitterless Energy Blend. You can find the link in the bio below, dubby.gg. Jump on over there. Dubby comes in a multitude of delicious flavors. You can see Jay up there with the Galaxy Grenade flavor in his hand. It is
good.
Delicious. Good. There's so many flavors, but here's the cool part, guys. Every single cup of Dubby has exactly 2 cups of coffee worth of caffeine, but no calories, no sugar, no maltodextrin, no fillers, and no artificial colors. It is formulated to give you focus and energy with no jitters or crash later, and it's nothing but amino acids, B vitamins, and nootropics, which keep you sharp and going throughout your day. It's wonderful. You can see right there the flavor peach and peach, my absolute favorite flavor. I love it. Gets me going for my day, keeps me going throughout my day, and I don't feel shaky and I don't crash afterwards. So get yourself the dub. I'm going to make the dub even better, though. At the checkout, punch in code NRWOB10. That's NRWOB10 to get yourself 10% off your order. NRWOB10 at the checkout gets you the dub. Teach me how to dubby. All right. Let's
throw a couple more people out there. We got Bronco Rob, another part of the crew. He says, let's freaking go. I'm upgrading that to let's fucking go. All right. It is 10:34 at least Central Time. 9:34 Mountain Time here. The kids are to bed. All right. I'm drinking Victory whiskey. Yeah. As far as rich statements go, that's pretty rich. And we got our boy Rich A in the our good old buddy from Canada. Eh? Absolutely. We love you, buddy. For sure. Glad to have him in. And then, again, the legend himself, Mundungus Gravy, in the chat. Here he is. He was here he's here post. He's with us. Both in spirit and in fandom here. So really glad to have him here, and he's super excited as well. Obviously he says it's like he popped a little blue pill. I'm sure he's rock hard solid. Rock hard excited. I mean,
and blue diamonds, as Shannon Shark likes to say.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's a baby's arm holding an apple. He's ready to go. So. And then we got a new name, at least to me. Maybe you guys know him. It's a new one. It's a new one. Kamani. Yeah. Kamani Dixon. Hey, here's to you, Kamani. Welcome to the Orange and Blue crew.
Very much so.
A Don toasting with his water.
No, that's all
Gotta
right.
be
It is a
healthy
school
one
night.
day, man. One day of the
It is a
week.
school night. I get it, and it's God's day. Both ways.
Yep. Oh, and D-Rock saying 2-0 in the division. Everyone else in there are 0-2.
Yeah,
I didn't even think about that.
They are technically. I mean, it's preseason, so it doesn't count for nothing, but it counts to us. We can feel it. We can feel it.
Throw as many behind the back passes as you want, my homies.
Dude, I hope against hope that son of a bitch tries one of those during the regular season and gets blown up.
I hope he gets blown up.
It was like I'm watching it back again. I mean, it was cool to see. It's never been done. Did it in a preseason game. Okay, great. But really watching back, it wasn't a good pass either. I mean, the ball was like all over the place.
All wobbly,
He's really lucky Kelsey came down with it. And if it had been towards anybody else other than Kelsey, they wouldn't have. So it was cool. It was cool. Mundunga says, buck everyone else. That's right. And buck their feelings. Because this is the Buck Your Feelings post-game show.
Yeah.
Rich pops in. He says, been saying it all along that the team is better this season than last. We got rid of most, but not all of the me guys.
Yeah. Jerry Judy.
Oh, God. Sorry.
I do want to go while we're on that topic. I don't know if you guys saw when Mike Kliss was, how every year he names his list of people who he thinks are going to make the 53-man roster.
Yeah, I noticed that.
And when they got to the quarterback aspect of it, he was kind of he brought the two scenarios for some of those people that are not familiar with the financial ramifications of whether they keep one over the other. And as we've seen so far, guys, like to the Waltons, the owners of the Broncos, they don't really give a shit about losing money because they're $85 million in the hole going into the season as it is. So next week is going to be...
Listen, Rob Walton makes $80 million back while he's taking a piss at the urinal, okay? Like, he'll be okay.
Pretty much. Yeah, he'll be okay. So it's going to be an interesting... going into next week, while we're not going to see Bo Nix, it is really going to be interesting. It's going to be a race to the finish because somebody in our group chat mentioned that one quarterback had the advantage over the other last week against the Colts. And in this past game, it was quite the opposite, where Stidham had a better game than Zach Wilson this way around. So to me, I feel like that's actually true, but that's not like, let's say more like by a mile. I thought that Stidham, if it wasn't for that rushing touchdown, we'd be having a whole different conversation right now. So really disappointed in Zach Wilson. Part of being a NFL quarterback, like, yes, he did have second and third stringers on that offensive line, and they did let him down this week. But you have to know where you are, and unfortunately,
you absolutely do.
Pocket awareness, and for someone that's had as many starts as he has, and that
was
my whole thing that I was like, man, but he's got the experience that Stiddy just doesn't have. Like, he's got
except he doesn't have the awareness that Stiddy does.
But let's think about his experience with the New York Jets was with a garbage offensive line that constantly had pressure in his face. He's one of those quarterbacks that has had trauma. And so he sees ghosts in front of him, and he's very just unsure about his presence.
One might make the argument, Jay, that because that is his history, he should be better at recognizing that moment, but he's not.
He's not. I mean,
he's like a deer in the damn headlights.
He's not.
And that's what we saw. Mundungus. Johnny, did you just say teach me how to Dougie? No, I did not. I said teach me how to Dubby.
Dubby.
Teach me how to Dubby. I love it. Rich saying, let's simmer until we see the regular season. Yes, I agree, but at the same time, no, I can't because
you're killing me, Smalls.
I'm excited, and I feel like us as Broncos country have the right to be, regardless of the fact that it's the preseason. We are seeing the potential of this team, a potential in this team that we have not gotten to see in a long time.
Yeah,
and that gets me excited. I'm not going to simmer for nothing, dude. I'm at full boil, and I'm cool. Jay, let's see. Oh, maybe I may have just lost it. I'm sorry.
Well,
that Wilson has the awareness of how to find a soccer mom.
So we were talking. I know what you were going to bring up, and I'm going to bring it back up because again, it's an unpopular opinion, but it is very telling that we didn't re-sign him. Richie says, Jay, we need to look at Simmons too for those me players. And it was reported that there was a big reason why we didn't re-sign him is because of the culture fit to what we're trying to bring to this team. And it is what it is. And I'm glad, honestly, that we are going with the young bucks. The young bucks that don't know that they're not supposed to be good. And that's a great mixture to have for a team that going into a new culture.
Yeah, like you're looking at these guys that aren't supposed to be doing what they're doing.
They're not.
Because you don't expect them to, because they're young, they're untested, blah, blah, fucking blah. But the point is, you see it. They said like they don't know that they're not supposed to be doing it, so they do it. And they do it well. It was a good game, regardless of the fact that it's preseason and against 2s and 3s. I don't give a damn. Bo Nix, that guy is the guy. He is the future of this franchise. And when we get to the regular season, we might see him take a few games to really get into NFL shape. I don't doubt that. But I also don't doubt the fact that guy is going to be a force to be reckoned with in this league. He is a surgeon with a football. He is so accurate, and he dissects defenses. He's perfect in a Sean Payton system. Perfect.
So we've got the culture discussion of that we are restarting this franchise.
Yeah.
Can we just spend a hot second on the white unis and how much I love those pop with the orange bottoms? I really like it, like a lot.
Here's the thing. A lot of people don't know this. That is a throwback. They're putting so much emphasis on the throwbacks to 1977 this year with the new 1977 throwback jersey that Jay's wearing right now. Excuse me. The new eatery at the training facility, the 1977 cafe, I think is what it's called, or bistro or something. They're really throwing a lot into that. Now, in 1977, there was a game where the Broncos, only time in their history, wore white jerseys over orange pants. It's only happened once, and this was a throwback to 1977 when they did that. I loved it. It was cool. It was unique. You don't see it, and it's timeless now.
Better than the blue bottoms. Better than the blue bottoms. Because they wore that for that Tennessee game that you and I attended, Johnny.
That's right.
Very unique look.
I saw a lot of hate from people that they did not like the uniforms. There was one person, I'm not going to say their name, but they said it was like the Walmart version of a Broncos uniform.
Oh, so whatever. They're just jealous. The Broncos have the sexiest new uniforms in the NFL.
I will say
they look great.
With as much positivity as there was some negative Nancy's on the World Wide Web tonight during the game that had no reason for being negative.
Dude, they're trolls.
They came out of the woodwork, but they're Bronco fans. That's the thing. I understand opposing teams, but
they're still trolls. They're the kind of people, Jay, that they're not happy unless they're unhappy.
Speaking of good guys, we got Clayton in the comments.
Clayton in the house.
Hey guys, absolutely, and he's giving the thumbs up as well. Smash that like button and share. We appreciate that.
Please.
But he's very happy with Bo. Very happy with what he saw in the prime time and the lights and in the rain. Underrated thing. Ball is slippery. I didn't see any issue with it. Yeah, no issue with a slippery ball. So,
slippery ball. Can we talk about the defense for a second?
Yeah.
Dude. Can we say possible top 10 defense in the NFL this year?
I hope so.
I mean, starters and depth.
I was going to say depth looks great. I mean, Ellis is a steal of a draft pick of what he looks like. 2 games back-to-back rushes that resulted in turnovers. He looks like a stud. And
I love
as sad as it says, it looks like it is more of a situation where one of our pass rushers is, not going to be on the field, because how do you keep Ellis off the field? He looks dominant.
You can't.
So,
after what he's put on the field, you can't keep him off of it.
I
mean, he had me nervous there, both him and Jonas Griffith tonight, but they both got up, they both got back in the game. So hallelujah for no injuries.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
That's great. Real quick, Mundungus pops in telling us that Clayton Heron, who's been commenting on a few of our shows for weeks now,
Yes, sir.
and Kamani Dixon are MHRT royalty. Did not know that. We are just now making our big return to MHRT, but
We're
welcome
learning.
to the Orange and Blue crew, because we are the Orange and Blue network, who is now partnered with MHRT. So we love you guys. We appreciate you guys. Thank you for being with us tonight. For real. But the defense, man, like they are stout. They are stout as fuck. I mean, what was our biggest concern going into this season? What defensively, run defense. We didn't have it. We haven't had it for several years. And
Mhm.
tonight, I mean, not that these guys are none of these guys that we saw in the Green Bay Packers are Derrick Henry. Okay, none of them. But
Nope.
but like what we saw is a defense that is standing them up at the line for the most part. I mean, they may get 1-2 yards on a carry, but that's it, man. I mean, they were forcing fourth down after fourth down after fourth down consistently. They could not get their run game going, and then of course because of that, their passing game suffered for it too.
Yeah. Shout out to Ellis for that great fumble recovery and the sack.
Mhm.
Also Smith, who made that incredible interception. Second game in a row, guys. This man is literally climbing up the depth
Am I
chart.
the only one who had no freaking idea who he was until he caught the interception last week?
I had an idea.
Not a name that sticks out to you. I mean, there's plenty of other secondary guys that I had my eye on before him, but
And like half of them named Smith. So
yeah.
But I would say our lines, we gushed about the trenches last preseason game. We dominated on all strings of, in that Indy game. This game, the defensive line continued that. The offensive line, however, our starters look good. Gave plenty of time for Bo. Things were great in that, but there was a massive drop-off for that second unit of offensive line, in my eyes, at least. And you can see that in Stidham and Wilson's time. So I was a little disappointed in that. That's a little low highlight for me, at least.
Well, and they'll work on it with Joe Lombardi and all them. They'll work on them this week. They'll be like, hey, this is your last chance. Like, you came out, you kind of laid an egg. You guys really broke down. They were doing a lot better in game one, in preseason game one. They looked like they went to sleep tonight. I don't know what happened there, but who knows? We'll see. I think a lot can clean up. It's just, I think there's nerves, man. Like these players, they're hearing the same thing we are every week, which right now is that there's 10 roster spots left on this team to fill. Like Sean Payton already knows who his starters are otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Guys hear that, dude, and it shakes them. It shakes them to their core, which is also, I could say, arguably what we saw from Jarrett Stidham and Zach Wilson tonight was, I think they probably came into this game still hoping maybe there was just a chance that they might still be able to steal that QB1 spot. They say they don't care. They say that in press conferences. I don't care who does that. Yes, they do. They're humans. I mean, if I'm not the one getting the if I work hard at my job, and if I'm not the one who gets passed up for the promotion, I don't like it. I don't care who they are. They do care. And, I think they probably came into this game hoping that there was still a chance, like the Lloyd in Dumb and Dumber, so you're telling me there's a chance.
That's what we saw in the intensity of that run from Stidham.
Exactly.
I mean, that's not a preseason play. That's in
Bo
the
comes
middle of
out
the regular
there.
season.
Exactly. But then Bo comes out there and he puts up 8 of 9 for 80 yards with 12 rushing yards and a touchdown. And what should have been a second touchdown, 2 scoring drives.
140 passer rating.
At that moment, they knew it's over. It's over for me. There's no chance I'm beating him for the QB1 spot right now. And so, I think that may have disheartened him a little, but like you said, and this is where I think they separated. This is where I think the separation happened tonight. Stidham put forth all the effort you'd want to see. A lot of effort. And he put in that run. He trucked a defender out of his way into the end zone. Quarterbacks don't do that. I think that, and Zach Wilson, like a deer in the headlights, took a safety in which he could have spun out of the way, or he could have gotten rid of the ball. And I hate to say this because I was really rooting for Zach Wilson. But I think I personally, and this may just be me, I could be completely by myself on this. I think Stidham just solidified himself, or came as close, ever as close as he can get to solidifying himself as QB2 behind Bo. With that,
I think there's going to be I think whoever said it in the group chat during the game, next game is fight for that QB2 spot, because I think it's split right now, because I would give the first preseason game to Wilson and I'd give this game to Stidham. And Stidham's 2 interceptions were not his fault. You get, offensive line pass deflection, and then you get Samaje Perine doing craziness. So, like, Stidham's turnovers are not his fault, whereas Wilson's
stat-wise, they fall back on him. But
yeah, but Wilson's bloopers were on him, not necessarily a pass deflection or some other person resulting. So
now the offensive line. Second team offensive line wasn't helping Zach Wilson out at all.
No,
that's beyond the point. That's beyond the point. Look, dude, you have 3 years of starting, as a starter under your belt. You got to act like you've done this before, man. Well, you got to act like you have.
Can I just I don't want to be negative, but there is a couple negative notes I wrote down, mainly on the offensive line part.
So did Mendungus.
Alex Forsythe.
Yeah, I was actually about to bring that point up. Nick Bonito, he had a really, really bad, like, it wasn't even like it looked like he wasn't even trying in that one. He literally got stopped dead in his tracks. And I'm pretty sure
he also had several key stops too.
After that one, so that's like something that when I saw it, I'm like, come on, bro. Like, you cannot have like a number 2 or number 3 just stop you dead in your tracks like that. It was pretty embarrassing, and he made up for it later on because he was part of that assist in the Ellis strip and fumble and recovery. So I can see why Mundungus is coming out and saying that, because yes, they didn't really get to the quarterback like they wanted to. They did get to like the third string eventually, but that's only because the O-line shifted.
At the end of the day, Zach Allen looks like a reincarnation of JJ Watt. So I mean, there were some plays Zach Allen made this game.
Oh, definitely.
So I think there's isolated incidences where our pass rush is lacking the effort on it, but I think that's why you are confident in having a more deep positional group, so that if you're going to lack effort, you're out. Like, this is rotation. You don't get this job just to have it. That's why it's so integral to have someone like Ellis.
And I want to get your take, what you were about to bring up there, Jay, on Forsythe and the center competition.
So disappointing. Pretty much solidified he's the starter tonight. That was a big takeaway I had tonight. Forsythe's gone. Like, not gone. He's going to be on the roster because we have to. He's
just not going to be the starter.
He just won't be the starter. Yeah,
correct.
He had 2 holding penalties back. So a holding penalty this game and a holding penalty last game that were big holding penalties. It negated like a 27-yard run.
That was the one to Crow. Yeah.
No, it was Jaleel McLaughlin.
Oh, no. McLaughlin, sorry.
It was
Tyler Beatty.
Watson. Tyler Beatty, sorry.
Tyler Beatty.
We got so many.
It was a
26-yard run, yeah.
Yeah, it was like a big run that negated it, and it was unnecessary. And you can't have that, especially from the center position. Like, I don't know. I had a lot of hope for Forsythe because of his connection to Bo Nix. I made the comment of like, well, Oregon to Oregon, like that's his guy. Theoretically, that's Bo's guy. But not looking good for him.
It's not. Now, here is an interesting thing. I'm sitting here doing what I do after every game, and I've got the ESPN box score up. Sitting here looking at the stats, man. Zach Wilson outplayed Stidham, and if you really want to get statistical, I mean, he had an 89.6 passer rating, while Stidham actually only notched a 41.9 passer rating on the night. But ultimately, I'm sorry. It's not, stats aren't everything. What you see is often, a lot more telling than what's on paper.
Yeah.
Or in this case, screen. But you get where I'm going with this. You know, I think our defense is much improved. I think our offense is rapidly improving. And I mean, can we talk for a second, Jay, about the ridiculousness of riches we have in the wide receiver room?
Well, let's talk about that wide receiver room, because there are some highlights and there are some lowlights. Some people that are on the wanted ads, wanted, spreadsheet here. Marvin Mims played in the third quarter and did nothing against like third string cornerbacks. I'm beside
Same
myself.
with Brandon Johnson.
Other than the
had 2 drop
touchdown he
passes.
caught on the little screen on that first preseason game, he's looked horrible in combination of his scrimmage and practice things that at least I've seen. Marvin Mims is not what I thought we would be getting this year. I thought he'd make a jump, and it's been a very, Troy Franklin-esque type of performance. And again, a no-show from Troy Franklin. Speak of the devil. It ain't good in that wide receiver room as much as we think it's great. I don't know.
Hell, he's not even listed on the box score.
Yeah,
Like,
not even registered a stat.
He's not even on there for a 0. He's not even showing a goose egg on there. He's just not there.
Mhm.
As much as I thought,
Tim Patrick. Wow.
Well, that's my thing is I thought Timmy P was a goner because of Vele, and I was wrong. I'll be the first to admit I'm wrong. Like, Timmy P is here to stay. Unless they are highlighting him to try and get some trade compensation. And we saw that from Albert O last preseason, where we highlighted the hell out of him and then sent him off for a 6th-round draft pick.
Here's my only issue with that. That'd be great and all, but at the same time, let's talk about like his chemistry. There is a natural chemistry building between him and Bo Nix.
You're not
you got
wrong.
Bo Nix, who is a young rookie quarterback. Are you as a rookie now trading away Albert O away from Russell Wilson? Okay, I mean Russell Wilson's a veteran. He's done this for a while. He can. I mean he's honestly not looking the best at all now, but he can throw to just about anybody. But when you got an up and coming brand new rookie quarterback, are you really going to trade away the guy that they're meshing with the most on their team before they've even started? I wouldn't. I definitely wouldn't. I get you might get more value, but I think there's more value to having that guy on the field with your QB than there is in future draft compensation.
Yeah.
So
and Richie brings up another intangible that is a very important thing and distinction between the Alberto comparison. Alberto was never a locker room guy, quite opposite from what I heard.
They didn't really get along. We didn't really get along with anybody in the locker room.
Timmy P is a bona fide leader in that entire locker room.
And he hates it. He hates every second of being the leader.
But he is. He is.
Everybody looks to him. He's the reluctant. That's the kind of leader you want, though. That's the thing. People who strive to be the leader are often the worst leaders possible. Those who fall into a leadership position don't want to do it, but they do it because it's what's not only asked of them, but it's just what others come to expect of them. Those are true leaders.
Yeah.
So that's a great point. And Munduga says that Timmy P was always the number 2 receiver. It's between Vele and Humphrey. Timmy P was going to be the featured wide receiver last year until he got hurt. You're absolutely right. Absolutely right, dude. So
I just kind of feel like Lil Jordan Humphrey is destined to be a practice squatter because he is a Sean Payton guy. There's no way he's getting cut. There's no way he's not a part of our team. And I think he gets
poached. You put him on the practice squad, honestly.
Maybe, but like I got nothing bad to say about Lil Jordan Humphrey. He has always showed up and always been a gamer. Like always makes plays.
I only get annoyed when I hear people call him Little Jordan Humphrey, or they call him like they act like Lil is actually a nickname or something, and it's like, nah, dude, his birth certificate says Lil Jordan Humphrey.
Lil, yeah,
Lil Jordan Humphrey. That's his name.
Like Lil and Dill.
Yeah. Rich absolutely says exactly what I was trying to say. The best leaders are those who accept it reluctantly.
Yes, sir. And he's 100%
and there
right.
It is. Absolutely.
Very true.
any other highlights for you guys? I'm
Unfortunately,
feeling like we're missing something here.
we went back to kind of an ending point that we talked about at the end of the pregame show, which is the flags. 13 penalties, if I'm not mistaken.
No, it was more than that at the end. It was more than that at the end.
Like 15, I believe.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of things left to be desired in terms of the penalty. I will say that roughing the kicker was probably the bullshit call of the game.
Oh, that was the biggest load of bullshit I've ever seen. He was actively playing the ball, and his hand bumped the punter's ankle.
I would have settled for running into the kicker, but roughing the kicker, like, nah, that was a bunch of bullshit.
No,
and
he was
again,
actively diving for the ball, and then ended up, accidentally touching his ankle with his hand. That is not a roughing.
Yeah,
and
that wasn't a roughing.
Let's just chalk that up to this is the preseason for everybody, including the refs.
Mm-hmm.
And let's hope that after this game, because they have bosses too. After this game, the ref, sits down with his bosses, and they're like, "Hey, man, that was not a roughing the kicker. That was a well played punt, and unfortunately, momentum carried his hand into his ankle."
Yeah,
I mean, he wasn't even diving at an angle to hit the kicker. He was diving at the only angle he could dive at to get the ball.
Yeah.
So
there was a rhyme that I think Ryan Garcia said, which went like, "When I can no longer see, I want to be a referee."
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes,
I took note of that as well. I was like, damn, that is nice. That's good. I've never heard that.
I don't know where the hell that came from.
Ryan Anderson actively insulting the referees on national TV. I love it.
Ryan Harris.
Ryan Harris.
Yeah, I said.
Did I say Anderson?
Yeah.
I apologize.
said Garcia. Yeah, Ryan Harris.
Well, Ryan Harris, awesome dude.
Super Bowl 50 champion, Ryan Harris.
Yeah, I've been trying to get him. I've been trying to get him on our show before this. I'm gonna keep on, getting him in here. But Mundungus of Will Jordan Humphrey, big Dick Snicks, perfection.
Yes, sir.
It's good. It's good.
I love it. It's good.
So one other position that I want to highlight, something I had on my radar for the game was, again, that CB2, CB3. The secondary in and itself, and just kind of what we saw. That we saw Riley Moss have a couple good plays. Granted, that was a little overthrown on that big deep ball that he was running in the very early part of the game. It wasn't necessarily a Riley Moss move, because the guy had separation.
You can do it.
Well thrown ball. But I just want to highlight Chris Abrams. Drain looks like a legit player. He flies around. I like him a lot. The more and more I see him.
And as a tattoo aficionado, can we just say how sick that dude's tattoos look? I mean, for real. Okay, I'm sorry.
He's
I
a
went in
Mizzou
another
Tiger.
direction.
Not?
I know. I love it. MIZZOU, baby. But no, I'm with you. I still think Riley Moss takes it. I think Moss is cornerback too. Chris Abrams' drain will be great. He could be a great nickel corner, I think, for us, and in rotational at cornerback too at times. But I think ultimately Riley Moss will do it, and of course Jaquan McMillan. You can't. I mean, what a PBU, that deep pass that he broke up. Whoo! Oh baby. I mean, I think I popped one of Mundungus's little blue pills at that moment, because I mean, what a pass!
But at least in my eyes, McMillan was more solidified on this roster than even Riley Moss. I had no quills about McMillan. He's a player. We all know this. We saw this last year. But the slander of Damari Mathis. Damari Mathis had some pretty good hits. He had some good tackles in this. Didn't have a whole lot of passes thrown his way.
He had some blown coverages, bud.
Yeah, couple. I saw.
Look, I know you got a big old hard on for number 27, and that's okay. But I don't think he might make the 53. But I don't think he's going to be a featured player.
Abrams' drain is ahead of him now.
Absolutely.
I'm far more high on him than I am.
What do we usually carry? Now. 5 or 6, right? 5 or 6 cornerbacks, because you have to.
Yeah.
Obviously, PS2, Riley Moss, Jaquan McMillan. That's right. I said it, McMillan. Jaquan McMillan. Chris Abrams drain.
Absolutely.
I think you'll have to carry. You'll probably still end up carrying your boyfriend Damari Mathis. But I don't see him being a featured back at all. He's there for depth, and that's all he will be. Well, for the remainder, whatever remainder there is of his tenure with the Denver Broncos.
I agree.
I did happen to notice Mike Kliss did have him on his 53.
He did.
Yeah, and not on the bubble either.
Not on the bubble, like solidified.
Who was it that he had on the bubble? Who did he have on the bubble?
I had a huge problem with him on inside linebacker. He had Jonas Griffith on the bubble, but he had Justin Sternad making the team, no question.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Yeah, that was an interesting one. And here's the thing: I rarely question Big Kliss. But I definitely.
Jonas Griffith led the team in tackles tonight.
He did. Which
is only playing better and better. So
Angelo Blackman was on that list as defensive tackle.
Yeah. Sternad had a really good pass batted down.
Mm-hmm.
Though I mean it was very well executed. Although I don't know if you guys noticed when he landed, he almost hurt himself. Like he was kind of hobbled for a second there, getting back to the line. But yeah, like he just landed wrong. Let's see. Here,
Mundungus.
Damari Mathis career recap. Get his ass, Damari. Fuck. Dude, it sounds like a scene out of Deadpool and Wolverine, which I went to see this last week, and
it was fabulous. I love that movie.
Oh, it was. It's the scene towards the end where the TVA guy screams "fuck," like it is now the quintessential like, oh crap, fuck I've ever heard. Like just. Everything's fine. Hey, guess who lived? Fuck. But anyway, moving on. I think a lot of guys displayed really big balls tonight, Jay.
Ooh,
do you agree? There's a lot of guys that we're seeing have some really big balls.
Now that you mention it, I'd like to talk about balls, and I'd like to talk about who should get a third ball.
Who's got the balls, baby?
Oh, yeah. So, I want to slice this up a little bit. I think we did a offensive, a defensive, and a wild card last game. Yep. I kind of want to go positionless, and you just give a top 3 players, and then just give a low player you were disappointed in. Because
risers and fallers tonight, huh, Jay?
There's specific players that I was more disappointed in than there were some players that I was excited about their performance. There were some disappointing performances tonight.
There were. And again, it's probably, we can call it nerves, we can call it preseason, call it whatever you want. I don't think it'll be something that's going to plague us forever. But
Adon, your honor. You go first.
Well, where should we start? Okay, let's start with the good. The good, obviously, I'm going to give it to I'm going to say Ellis. I wanted to give it to Nix, but I feel like Bo Nix is going to be the talk of the town for a very, very long time. So just to be fair, I'm not saying that, Nix didn't do great. He did fantastic, but we kind of have to try to spread the love around, because because football is a team sport in the end, So
I thought you said go, Bo, go.
So, Ellis recovering that getting the sack and the fumble was, I'm pretty sure, the highlight of his night. In terms
Ellis had a night, just a night all around.
Yeah, he had a night all around.
He didn't get to the quarterback. I don't think he recorded a sack, but he definitely, as he was last week, he was a menace. I think you'll agree. He was a menace.
Sir. Definitely.
And that's all we can ask for is, let's see. Let me see here. I'm pulling him up real quick.
He would have definitely been on my list.
3 total tackles for 2 solo with 1 sack and a fumble recovery. So, and a tackle for loss. So, I mean.
And an avoided injury.
And an avoided injury, yeah.
And avoided an injury. Yes.
We all held our breath. In terms of the bad, I kind of want to say Zach Wilson with an honorable mention to that offensive line who did the second and the third stringers. I mean, I think it was the second stringers on that Stidham sack. Man, did he get rocked. That right tackle, I guess he thought that Stidham maybe ran or something because he just kind of gave up on the play and he let the rusher just go free, and Stidham if it would have been like his blind, like behind him, I would have understand. But at the same time, you kind of have to have that vision, to see in front of you as well as side. And obviously, Stidham was looking downfield. It's a good thing he didn't fumble. But at the same time, compared to how the offensive line played last week, I felt that they was a bit of a letdown, especially with Forsyth, as we talked about earlier about the flags. But again, Zach Wilson for me, just getting sacked not just getting sacked, but getting a safety, putting the Packers up for 2 points and literally ruining what could have been a goose egg win for the defense because the defense was playing really, really great football tonight.
Now,
and I'm
are we
pretty
only giving
sure
one ball each?
Go two.
Go
two ball.
So,
one bad.
All right. Do you mind if I go ahead with the next one?
Go ahead, Johnny.
Go for it.
Okay. I'm gonna do something that Adon knows nothing about, which is speaking up for the little people. Speaking up for the little people.
Oh my God!
Because Adon, Adon looks down on all around him.
Yes, I do.
including the top of his filthy refrigerator. We've talked about this before.
How's the weather up there?
No, dude. But when I say the little people, he's not a little person, but he's one of those that just they don't get recognized as much as I think they should. I recognized him last week. I'm recognizing him again this week. Will freaking Lutz, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now you can say whatever you want about the kicker, but you know what? That guy puts points on the board for us. Okay, absolutely, he does, and he's doing it consistently. He's continuing to do it consistently.
Mm-hmm.
The concerns we had at the beginning of last season about Will Lutz have been put to bed, and he's continuing to knock it through the uprights. I'm calling it, he wears the number 3. He put in, and when he kicks field goal, it's worth 3 points. I'm calling it 3 for 3. Get it? 3 for 3.
Damn it, Johnny!
Oh, come on. Clever, you know it.
I will say, Johnny, not to cut you off, but just real quick, that first field goal, it almost looked like he hung it a little bit.
Agree, Don.
That was shaky, but it
to
went in.
Did you see the windage flags? Did you guys see the windage flags?
Yeah.
The wind was working against him at that time.
Yeah.
My 4-year-old was about to get upset.
I got a little worried. I'm not going to lie to you.
It still went through, and the wind was working against him. He is still consistently putting it through the uprights.
Jacob,
therefore, I give him
feelings. Jacob, grr.
But I agree with you, Johnny.
Do we know Jacob? I don't know
Jacob. So I'll drink to you, Jacob.
New name. Here's the drink to Jacob.
Salud, my friend.
Thank you.
Don't even bother, Don. Don't even bother with your water, bro. We're not hydrating here, buddy. We're dehydrating. That's the point of this.
Oh man.
No, but I give mine. I give one to Will Lutz because he is continuing when we stall out on being able to get whether it definitely should have been. It should have been a touchdown for Bo on that first one. It should have been, and it was great. It was to Javonte Williams, for crying out loud. What a great moment. It ended up not being, and he got in there and he still put points on the board for us, and he continues to do so. So I gotta give something to Will Lutz.
I agree.
I'll wait till the end to give my faller in this game.
Okay.
Jay, you're up.
That's fair.
Jay.
That's fair. Well, I mean, no one said it, so I mean, just by brand standard here, Bo Nix. Come on, guys. The guy is again
8 for 9 for 80 yards with 12 rushing yards and a touchdown.
See, but it's not stats. It's not stats, and it's not that he has led 6 of 7 potential drives for scores. That is 86% of all drives he has been in. He has gotten points. That's incredible. That is something that Mahomes should be shaking in his little boots. I'm here. he should be scared, right? If those stats actually hold up. I don't think they will. We got a small sample size here, but those are great things. But it's the confidence that it should instill upon every single Bronco fan out there, because we have seen garbage. We have seen what it's like to have someone that you don't have confidence in, and it makes you want to go into every game knowing your team is outmatched right out of the gate at the most important position.
You're a monster.
So it is so refreshing to go in and say, you know what? No, F this. Like, our team can win any single given week because we got a guy. We got a guy. So that's my, again, it goes without saying, but he's my high flyer tonight. And
That's what she said. That's what she said.
My other top guy that I'm giving game ball is the aforementioned that I mentioned before, Zach Allen. Whom they said on the interview that they weren't worried about PS2 in a scrimmage fashion. They were worried about Zach Allen, of all people, because he's a game wrecker. And if you recall, when he signed originally from Arizona, J.J. Watt himself endorsed him, saying, this is the guy that I gave my tutelage to, that I give full stamp of approval, that this is my guy, that I'm passing on my legacy to. So I think we undervalue what Zach Allen is going to bring to this defense moving forward in this year. And I'm super excited.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I love it, dude. And you took mine. You took mine. So why don't we let a Don go next, and I'll go ahead and I'll sit here and come up with another one because you took mine.
Well, in terms of since we're giving out another game ball, and we just got done talking about this guy a few minutes ago, Tim Patrick. As Jay said earlier, he kind of dug his way or his name out of what he thought a guy who was on the bubble. I'm really leaning towards not what Johnny said in terms of, the team hyping him up in order to trade him. But then again, I'm guessing that we are not going to see any of the starters next week against Arizona. So we are probably going to see more of Troy Franklin and Devon Vell.
Vele, bro. Vele.
I mean,
Troy Franklin, I've never seen him.
I've seen him in practices. So
I saw his picture when we drafted him.
I don't think he's real yet. I've never seen him.
I mean, he's the invisible man.
So they have a chance to kind of make a name. I don't think that they'll probably do anything enough where they'll probably give Timmy P a chance at his a shot at a spot on the roster. If anything, those guys are probably maybe not so much in terms of getting cut, but if they do, but if they go to the practice squad, like Johnny said earlier, those guys are going to get picked up by another team. They're not going to last that long on
You're right.
On the practice squad.
Real quick, new name to us, obviously not to MHRT, to us. So Ray Hass popping in saying new show. Here's to you, Ray.
To Ray.
That's the last of my victory whiskey for the night. Ray, we are not a new show. In fact, all three of us on different shows used to be MHRT Network once upon a time. We left at one time for various reasons. We formed our own network called Orange and Blue Network, and now we have repartnered with MHRT Network. We've come back with our old friends. We love you guys, Mundungus and Glenn and Cam and Bronco Bill. I mean, these are our people. Richie A. These are our people. We love you guys, and we're so glad to be back with you guys. We're definitely we're still a separate entity, Orange and Blue Network, but we are now a partnership with the MHRT Network. Like I said, and I can show, like I said before, if you're watching it on MHRT Network and you haven't already, please jump over to Orange and Blue Network on YouTube. Give us a like, subscribe, and share. You can find us also there on Facebook. And if you're watching on Orange and Blue Network and have not done so already, please jump over to MHRT and do the same thing. Like, subscribe, share on YouTube, X, Facebook, Twitch. Let's spread the love, because we are a true partnership here now. So we appreciate that. We appreciate that very much, Ray. And Mundunga says another MHRT royalty, which this I know. Watching the show over the years, I've heard Ray's name mentioned multiple times. Mundunga says he's a lady in the streets, but a freak in the bed. Love it.
Yeah.
Broncos after dark, ladies and gentlemen.
That's right. And our good friend D-Rock, who MHRT probably recognizes as the former Shadow Jacker. He'll always hold a place in our hearts as the MHRT after dark. But all right, so I guess it's my turn to give a second game ball, yeah?
Yep.
I am gonna give mine to Javonte Williams.
Oh wow.
I'm giving mine to Javonte Williams.
Bruh.
Because I saw more of him tonight than last game. The Javonte Williams I remember and love from his rookie season. Yes, Muntunga's soon to be Broncos in the dark. Indeed. I love Javonte Williams, and we saw, he even though it was called back, he caught that pass in the end zone for what should have been a touchdown from Bo Nix. Great catch, great touchdown. On top of it, dude, there was one of those moments tonight which we haven't seen from him in a long time, where there was a bunch of dudes on him and he kept on running his little ass off and ended up turning I think he got first contact at 3 yards and he drugged them for another 6 for a 9-yard gain. I was very impressed. That's the Javonte I know. That's the Javonte I love. I'm going to give him a game ball because, hey, dude, he's returning. He's lost that 11 pounds in the offseason, put on a lot of muscle and converted to muscle. And I think we're finally seeing, the actual re-emergence of the Pookie. Do you want me to give my
Yeah, I was gonna
dad?
say, go ahead and
boy,
round it out. Round it out for the rest of your
bad boy one.
Bad guy.
Who did you say, Adon? For your bad boy?
I gave it to Zach Wilson.
Okay. Alex Forsythe.
Yep.
I am, and it's not even just the holding. Alex Forsythe is the one that lost the battle that led to the Zach Wilson safety.
He did.
Yeah.
He lost the battle several times because Zach Wilson got sacked. What was it? A total of 3 times, I think, on the night.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
And almost every single time, the pressure that got to him came up the middle. And I'm sorry, Forsythe, dude. I had a lot of faith in you, and I still do. You're still a Bronco. You're going to be on this team. I better have some faith in you. But tonight was not your night, dude. It was it was not a good night for Alex Forsythe. Hopefully he got to the sideline and the offensive line coach, banged on his helmet a few times and was like, "What the hell is going on with you?" And hopefully they can sit down, watch some film, get a little bit of work in the weight room this week. Training camp is over. So ultimately now, they're going to have a few practices, but it's not training camp anymore. He's got 1 week to get right. And I hope he can. I do. So Alex Forsythe, you do not get a game ball. Not even close.
Yeah, like I said earlier, that offensive line was really shaky. Before the Stidham pick, that chop block, which, I mean, every offensive lineman knows you cannot hit somebody that low and then somebody that high because the refs are always going to call it a chop block. And then Stidham throwing as he's going down. I would much rather have a quarterback take a sack instead of, just airballing it. I know he was probably trying to get rid of it, but as you know, Stidham is a pretty tall quarterback. He's probably the tallest of the 3, if I'm not mistaken. So,
yes,
with him going down, he didn't have the leverage, and it made the ball just go straight up in the air. I thought one of the Broncos was right there to catch it, so maybe he was on the farther side of the field than I thought before the green jerseys came to serve it. So the offensive line has definitely got some cleaning to do in terms of the penalties because going into next week, it's gonna they're all those guys are gonna be fighting for their jobs.
What did I say? What did I say in the pregame, Adon? I said that what's gonna kill dudes' chances to make this roster is gonna be the little things now.
Exactly,
the little things.
Mm-hmm.
So, Jay, who's your bad boy?
I was going to say that's a good segue. The little things.
I declare
So, declaring. This player was declared the best player on the team during the offseason by Cecil Lammy. Cecil Lammy, the guy that has had a theme song made after him saying, "Blame Cecil Lammy for everything" by Nick Jackson. Great song to look up, FYI. But Lucas Kroll has had back-to-back horrible penalties against him. And I praised him. He got a game ball from me last game because he bounced back from his lowlights. This game, he did not bounce back from his lowlights. He just looks lost in a lot of instances and a lot of plays. I had a lot of high hopes for him. Dulcich played terrific this game.
Oh, he showed out, son.
He did. Which is not a good sign for Kroll as far as Kroll's opportunities, as far as Kroll's, role in this offense. But Lucas Kroll just not doing it for me. So he's my kind of surprising low guy, I think, out of this game. I would have gave it to Alex Forsyth, but you stole mine, Johnny. To each their own. You got me back. So.
Yes,
Lucas Kroll deserves to have a low light, no game ball type of game. Absolutely. This game. So I hope he bounces.
I am the smartest man alive.
He's going to be starting and featured in the last preseason game. Mark my words. He's going to be a guy that okay, we need to see what you got. This is your game.
Moment.
Yep.
Anything less than perfection, not perfection. Obviously, we can't expect perfection of anyone, but anything less than your absolute everything.
The GOAT, yeah. The greatest player on the roster. I mean, that was a Twitter joke for many a weeks. And ever since that expectation was thrusted upon him, he's kind of sucked. I feel bad for him. I do.
Mundungus throws this up there. RG3 on Bo Nix. Calm and confident, intentional with eyes, seeing everything clearly. This comes on the...
Or after he was sucking down a croissant.
I think it was before it was after he was sucking down the croissant, but before he was fired from ESPN this week.
That makes sense. Timing's everything in life.
I love it. All right. So, I mean, that's our game balls.
Yeah. Any final thoughts, as we're hitting this hour 10 mark here for post game?
In terms of the game?
Yeah, just an overall, perspective, big picture, macro, 30,000-foot view here.
I think that there's going to be so far, and this might be a hot take, but I think that all the people that were kind of shitting on Sean Payton when he picked Bo Nix, and a lot of people, especially some analysts out there, that said that picking Bo Nix at that spot was a reach. It's kind of starting to look like maybe Sean Payton was onto something, and maybe Sean Payton knows what he's doing in terms of getting his guy. So, and I'm saying, the only reason I say that is because if you guys have followed me on my podcast, one of the things I've been saying the most of is, just how I much rather the Broncos have stayed with Russell Wilson instead of paying him $85 million to go be a bad quarterback or a mediocre quarterback somewhere else, as they think he is. But with every game that passes by, guys, I'm starting to eat crow on that, and I'll definitely admit, I'll be more than happy to admit it.
You're a monster.
And it just makes it makes it hurt a little bit less, because and you don't really think about it until somebody on TV mentions it, that the Broncos would be great, but they have an $85 million deficit this season, or
well, guess what? Caliber. Guess what? Having a rookie quarterback on a rookie deal, it negates it. Who gives a shit?
Pretty much, yeah.
I mean, does it suck we're in the hole for this season? Because guess what? It drops off next season.
It sure does.
And we go into next season, regardless of what happens this season, we go into next season with almost all of our picks.
Mm-hmm.
And
finally,
I mean, dude, we're like, you could call this our rebuild year, but I actually have grown now based on what I've been seeing on the field. On the field, I'm expecting more from this team than I think I did before we started, before the preseason. And as such, even if we don't, obviously, do we make the playoffs? I don't know. I definitely don't know now because things, everything's different now than it was 3 weeks ago. But even if we don't, say go to the playoffs this year, going into next year, knowing that giant elephant in the room that is an $85,000 deficit, and the giant elephant in the room that has been no, premium round, premium draft picks, up to this point. If we can ride this momentum into another season later, I mean, dude, this team could be absolutely unstoppable.
Like I said earlier, a team is very dangerous in the NFL when there are zero expectations and the team doesn't know that they're not supposed to win. And we have young enough team that they don't understand that they're not supposed to win. And I just kind of feel like we are going under the radar by everyone's standards. That's why I've been hammering the over for 5.5 wins. That is
which we all lost that one today. We all lost that one.
Like, that is the most duh bet. If you are a betting person, like, my God, go put money. Go put $5 on it, for God's sakes. Because those odds are going to shoot up very soon here. Because it won't take long.
I get paid Tuesday. You better believe I'm going to put $100 down on
it won't take long before people start catching up to, like, oh, wait a second, like,
over on the over. Yeah. If I may add with my 30,000 foot view, just something that I've been thinking about this week. Jay and Adon, I've never been a huge fan of Colin Cowherd. I have my issues with the guy, but he did say on his show, I believe it was this last Monday, right after preseason game 1, he had said, what do you do if you're the Broncos? What did you do? After with the Russell debacle and all this stuff, how do you get out of that? You draft Bo Nix. And he literally said that with Bo Nix being the kind of player that he is in a Sean Payton system that fits him almost to a T.
Yep.
Having him makes all other major issues, this is literally what he said, go away. And we're seeing that offensively, defensively, it doesn't matter. Bo Nix's presence on this team, and I know that other changes have been made. Obviously, other players have moved out and moved in, and coaches have moved out and moved in, and Sean Payton is finally being able to build his culture here. I get that, but I think the catalyzer that is turning this team around is Bo Nix's presence on this team. I think he is the game changer.
Yeah.
That's that'd be a great name for him right now. Game changer. Because for the Broncos, he has changed the game. For us as Broncos country, as Broncos fans, the game changer, the surgeon, because he's like a surgeon with a football. He's dissecting the defense in front of him. Whatever you want to say about him, he is the game changer, and he is what is right now, as of this moment, is what is solving our woes in Broncos country.
He's the hope. He is. And, guys, it's just tonight is just, again, another reminder that we're in good hands, that everything's okay. We can rock at night here knowing that, like, everything's going to be okay, and we're not throwing Band-Aids on our situation any longer.
Rock-a-bye, JB.
It's true. We're actually out for a true final solution to our woes. And it's refreshing. So, I don't know about you guys, but hey, I feel like my feelings are bucked tonight. I feel like I got
well and bucked, my friend. And anybody who still has a problem with it, they can buck their buck your feelings. But
how you feeling? You got your feelings bucked tonight?
You talking about Johnny or me?
No, you.
Oh, shit. I'm with you guys.
He can't hear us all the way up there.
Oh, yeah. Hello!
I'm all up in the feels tonight,
That's good, man. That's good. All right.
You
Well,
sound exhausted.
hey,
Jay, look above you once again. Once again, there's a W above your head.
It's true. And hey, we don't take this for granted any longer based upon the past, 8 years or whatever it is. Like
any W we can get, baby.
Yep, absolutely.
Whether it counts or not.
Hey, for myself, for the Mile High Viking, for the 6'10" Mexican, thank you all for being here. Really appreciate it. And you know what? If you got more feelings to buck, we're going to be here every single post game. So please find us every single post game, every single pregame. We're here. So guys, without further ado,
don't forget, Jay. Of course, Tuesday nights we have the Nothing Rhymes with Orange and Blue podcast.
That's true.
On Wednesdays we have Broncos talk, and don't forget that there is a multitude of shows on MHRT to catch all week long. You got feelings to buck that you couldn't buck tonight. Buck them wherever you can. We got one last new name to us, Ty Walden, popping in based on Mundungus's reaction. Yet another royalty member of MHRT. He says, "Hello, gentlemen. Dang, I missed you all. Sorry about that. It's okay, Ty, because we're here for the long haul, buddy. We are here. And again, guys, make sure you catch all of our other awesome content on both Orange and Blue Network and MHRT Network all throughout the week. Please, once again, one last time, if you don't mind me, Jay, if you'll just bear with me for a second. Please
do it.
Jump on over to Orange and Blue Network if you haven't already and give us a like, subscribe, and share on our YouTube, on X, on Facebook. Find us wherever you find all of your audio podcasts to listen to. And then on the flip side, if you're on Orange and Blue Network and haven't, please jump over to MHRT. Give them the like, subscribe, and share on YouTube, X, Facebook, and Twitch. They're on Instagram as well. I just didn't have enough room to put it on our little overlay here. So, guys, please help us out with that if you haven't already. And it's nice to meet you, Ty. We'll see you next time.
Absolutely. And with that, guys, have a fantastic Monday morning with a W feeling. Let's go.
Go.